Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to give you a few tips on how to improve your PvM game. What are some basic ideas to improve your damage per second in Runescape? One of the very basic ideas is that you want to optimize abilities that do more damage over other abilities that do less damage. Pretty basic concept. But once you go in depth into that, you will begin to see that you very quickly run out of good abilities to press. And the art of doing good damage in this game is by figuring out which ability when to press optimally, that you will have it up in time again when you need it. A good example of that would be to use the Sunshine ability, build to 50% roughly, and then as soon as you can, use the ability Wild Magic. You could hypothetically build up to 80% and then burst out all your damage by using Wild Magic and Asphyxiate afterwards. But if you look at the cooldown of abilities, you will see that if you cast Asphyxiate too late, the cooldown of the ability itself is not going to come off cooldown fast enough for you to use it twice in your Sunshine. So what you want to do is use it as soon as possible, get that cooldown running, and then you're able to use it maybe twice if it is Sunshine. This of course also applies to the range combat style. There you have Snapshot and Rapid Fire. It's the exact same thing. Use high damaging abilities as soon as you can in order to get them off multiple times. The next thing that you want to learn that comes after prioritizing high damaging abilities is ability spacing. Ability spacing itself means to space your abilities to be able to constantly output good abilities and not have to use ones that do less damage, less than optimal damage. Let's for example say that you're only using the two-handed combat style and you're not switching to dual wield. With magic in particular, you might be using Sonic Wave, after that using a Dragon Breath, and very quickly running into the issue of not having any good abilities to use afterwards. Especially if you just Sunshined. In your Sunshine, it's slightly suboptimal to use bleed abilities because they do not get amplified by Sunshine itself. So you would already begin to use not optimal abilities. Now, how do you prevent that from happening? You can begin by switching to the other style in your combat, meaning if you are camping a staff or a two-handed bow, you can begin by switching to dual wield for that one basic ability in order to be able to avoid using rack, slice, or piercing shot whilst you are under the influence of a Sunshine, Death Swiftness, or Berserk. The next thing that I'm going to give tips on is intensity management. The question that is at hand is, how do you decrease the things that you have to do at any given time to a minimum? You can achieve that by thinking ahead what your next task is going to be and how you can preemptively prepare for that. So how do you prepare for that? Let's say a boss is about to spawn. The things that you want to focus on before the boss spawns are, for example, your HP and your prayer. do you have enough HP so that you do not have to eat while you're doing all of your abilities? Do you have enough prayer so that you don't have to sip whilst you are in a damage rotation? So focusing on one thing at a time is absolutely crucial. No one could do a optimal rotation whilst having to eat up, whilst having to drink a prayer flask, and simultaneously have to click all of your weapon switches from your inventory, and then also with your mouse clicking all of your abilities. There is no way anyone could ever do all of those things at the same time effectively, whilst following optimal rotations. So keeping all of those things to a minimum is a great advantage. So how do you keep all of those things to a minimum? This directly brings us to the next topic, which is going to be keybinds and ease of gameplay. Setting up your keybinds is probably the most important thing in Runescape, and it allows you to be able to do so many more things simultaneously without having to think about all of those things. Most people's keybinds are completely awful, and so far from all of my friends, all of people that have asked me to help them with keybinds, with rotations, with increasing their damage per minute, every person has had a major flaw in their keybind setup, which was the reason that they were unable to do many things at the same time. Now there's many great videos out there already that cover keybinds and how to set them up effectively. I'm not going to go too much into keybinds itself. I'm just going to say that the most important thing is that you arrange them logically, so that you don't have to think too much what your keybinds are. Your keybinds should be an extension of yourself, where they make your life easier. So you definitely have to find something that works for you, but simultaneously something that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense but works for you, you're gonna run into the issue of not being able to perform specific tasks that require a specific setup of keybinds. This was a pleasure. Thank you very much.